let's get into it. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is having a good week thus far. And let's end the week strong. It's a Thursday, right? So I'm a little bit more conservative today. End of the week, contracts are a little bit more volatile. So um, Qs, right? Qs. Finally, we're kind of getting this breakout out of the previous day high. The A plus shot here is going to be over 626.60. Clearly, you can see for the past what 3 4 days, we kind of just been stuck in this channel. Definitely been respecting our 617. So today, really just looking for a break and retest over 626.60 here. Um, if we just stay, in between this range or fall back under the previous day high, obviously I'm pretty much hands off. SPY, it's breaking out now, so I will be looking at SPY. This looks really good. There's not a lot going on the tech names, actually. There's not a lot going on. So, if SPY can get over this, I like it. High probability shot. We're outside of a channel. We're over the previous day high. Those are the things that I love to see. IWM. So, this is on my close watch list. I'll see. You can already see we kind of got the retest just now during the pre-market, right? Plan your trade your plan. This is the dip buy. This is an A plus long because remember on the weekly, we're stuck in a channel. This is the breakout of the channel here. So, if I can get another pullback long entry here on IWM, I like it. But if this thing just wants to open and rip to the upside, I really wouldn't be surprised. But this is the dip buy. So I have an alert here. We'll see what happens on IWM. Tesla, definitely going to be on my close watch list. I'm looking for a break and retest over 450. If we stand under 450, I'm hands off. I love to see this reaction, on my key level. Shows me I did my job. So just looking for that, right? We swept the previous day highs liquidity. You can see we're pretty much holding it, right? So that looks good. If we can get a break and retest over 450, I like it. Right now, during the pre-market, I'm not really spotting divergence between Tesla and the overall market. So we'll just wait and see. Nothing on NVIDIA until we get back to 184.50. Nothing on Apple, top of the range. Nothing on AMD, for me at least. And then Netflix. So I am watching Netflix. This also be on my close watch list. We'll see, right? There's a lot of thin volume straight up. It goes straight down. If it wants to chop around, so be it. But I'm looking for a break and retest under 103. Give you a better visual, right? I love to see this. I love to see, my key level here. That was terrible. I love to see my key level here, go from resistance, turn into support during the pre-market. Shows me I did my job. I found a key level. We're bearish bias under 106. So today, right, it's either going to be that or it's going to be that like I broke it down, but definitely that if we fall under that target in here. The better RR trade, on Netflix overall is to the downside. This is a high probability shot if we get in at the bottom of this range. So if this sets up, I'm most likely going to play next week cons. I just got to figure out and see um, what I want to do. But because like I said, it's the bottom of the range. We want to be in a long position down here before we get back to the top. So we'll see. But nevertheless, yeah, really my close watch. I'm definitely looking at SPY. I'm definitely looking at IWM, and then Tesla, right? So, SPY, IWM, Tesla, and Netflix. IWM might be gone though. Might be gone. We'll see. We shall see. But we got about, what, 613? Yeah, so it's pretty much a pre-market game plan going into market open. Now I got to set up for those in the Discord. I just said yesterday anything can happen during the pre-market. So you can see Netflix pushed all the way up to 104.93. We are under 103. So I will be looking for a pop and fade off this. As long as we're under 106, I'm bearish bias. The market's pushing up during the pre-market, and this is heavy sellers showing their hands. I love that. And between 106 103, no trade zone for me. So we almost just pulled all the way back to the previous day low, actually. So we'll be patient here. We'll see. We have 9 minutes here till market opens. If Tesla sets up, definitely going to be looking for Tesla. What I love about Netflix is just the relative weakness compared to the market. So, we'll see. Because if the price action is like crazy and all over the place, really not going to touch that. Actually, what we can do is check the IV as of now. Okay, a little elevated. Not too crazy, but a little. Nothing crazy. We'll see what happens when market opens here on Netflix. But clearly, a lot of relative weakness compared to the market. A lot of it. And then, right, SPY actually ended up breaking this during the pre-market. So we'll see if this ends up holding over 685.25. Remember if right, I want to see this channel turn into support, give you a better visual here on the daily. See that? The key resistance level here. So if we reject that, I really won't be too surprised. But we'll be patient here, right, when market opens. But if we can hold over the 685, that'd be solid. And then IWM, and we'll see what happens if this thing can pull back to our key level here. So I'll be ready for that too. Okay, about a minute and 30 seconds here coming into market open. So, obviously if Tesla's stronger than everything else, I'll definitely be looking for a long on Tesla here. And then, right, we definitely want to see, SPY hold above 680, 525. Which needs to be breaking above now, and then you can kind of see Netflix is just kind of all over, during the pre-market. So we're just gonna be patient and see. About 1 minute here till market opens. Let's see. Okay. To be honest, kind of holding up, right? We just gotta wait to see if like we can actually get a deep enough pullback. But like I said, we kind of already got the retest, so we'll see. Okay, I like the divergence here on Tesla. Let's just see if that holds. SPY's actually trying to hold up. Yeah, low day bounce here on Qs, and that's what we're seeing here on SPY. So SPY looks good. Right, we know we're not touching Tesla under 450. Big wicks, big candles right now on Netflix. So I'm pretty much just holding my water. Netflix is definitely bearish on this 15 minute. I just showed you on the daily on SPY, right? So that's no surprise that we keep rejecting this. Yeah, so big pullback on SPY and Qs. Tesla as well. It's crazy divergence on IWM. It's definitely holding. It's definitely holding. Big sell off on the market. But the sell off you're seeing on Qs is this reaction at the daily on the top of the channel here on SPY. Who goes out below? Okay. So the way I see things right now is uh, we're dead smack in the middle of the range on both the SPY and the Qs. So we're not moving higher or lower. It's just an inside bar day. That's just how I'm looking at it on a technical standpoint. If we're in between the previous day high, previous day low, we haven't really done anything. Like I said, let me go here on SPY, right? We're just stuck in this channel in between 685 and 679. I'll go here on the daily. See what I mean? Just stuck in a channel here. So If we can get that break above it, that'd be solid. We'll see what Netflix does. I mean, Netflix had a big sell-off yesterday. I like the divergence around Tesla, especially if we can rip through this high day. I love seeing these reactions at my key level on the dot. Tells me I did my job. I love the divergence, right? This little recovery here. If Tesla can like break through this high day, give us a nice candle closure. That looks really good because right now there's relative strength on Tesla compared to the market. Yeah, beautiful analysis here on IWM. Unfortunately, we just got that retest right before the pre-market, like I said. This is the dip buy. This is the next leg higher. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it today. The daily candle, form above. I wanted to see a wick off of this. We caught that on the dot. That's exactly, I knew what I was looking for, right? So we got the retest during the pre-market. Really not much we can do about that. Um, yeah, we'll see. And it's a weekly level, so I also love that, right? The higher the time frame, the better. We know we're bearish bias on Netflix under 103. The overall market's just in between the previous day high, previous day low, so really not much going on in the market. I just showed you that pretty much buying cues is just in a channel right now, which I'm not really surprised, just because, like I just said, I broke this down during the pre-market going into today. SPY is not that far away from all-time highs. When we get and hold above, 685.25, there's nothing in its way. There's no more key levels in its way until all-time highs. So it's a key level. There's clearly relative strength around Tesla, but if the price action isn't too good, obviously I'm not going to touch it. Same here on Netflix. You can see, right, statistically speaking, if we're in between the first 5-minute candle, it's just going to be a choppy day. But Netflix had a very big sell-off and trendy day yesterday to the downside, so I'm not really too surprised here. Yeah, not a lot going on all around, to be honest. IWM setup, but sucks. Really could not get that. It's beautiful though. If you caught that yesterday, um, you got paid. I'm liking this little V-shaped recovery here. I mean, we're bullish bias here on the market. We know that, so I just got to see a strong close here on Tesla. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna wag my tail. You should know the most important entry criteria on the break and retest, which is what? Displacement. Very patient. There we go. That looks good. I need this candle to close strong and bullish though. See, that I don't like, but we'll see. 451. All right, about a dollar breakout displacement. So I like that. There we go. That looks good. The bigger the displacement, the better. It's not the cleanest price option on Tesla right now. So, but see what I like about Tesla is that even compared to Qs, it definitely has relative strength. On a technical standpoint, we really only had a dollar breakout, a $1.05 breakout. So regarding the price action here, I think I'm just gonna wait a little bit more for like more displacement. Like I would love this candle to close up here. I would love it to close up here. SPY is definitely finding some lower day support here. See, that's what I want on. See, now that's a $2 breakout. I love that as a whole number. And what is SPY doing? What is Tesla doing? So it's gonna be patient here. Just being very patient here on Tesla. Yeah, definitely relative strength here. Who knows though? This thing may be so strong that we may not get a retest. Yeah. Solid there on IWM. Happy with the analysis. Couldn't catch the trade though. See, just an inside bar day on the overall market. So Tesla's very strong right now. A lot of relative strength. Look at SPY, look at Qs. I love that. That's exactly what I want to see. So I'm just waiting for a retest. Like I said, I might not get it. If we do get to the top of the range, nah, eh. I mean, that'd be 466.50. I doubt it, but I wouldn't rule it out. Yeah, I doubt it. I wouldn't rule it out. Tesla looks good though. It does. I'm just being patient here. It's clearly right. We see the relative strength, so it just may be so strong we may not even get a pullback. It's already a $3, almost a $4 breakout here over our key level. This is where traders get FOMO. I got my comms ready to send into the Discord as well. Hold on. See this I love. I love this. People get FOMO and they freak out when it's a big breakout. They feel like they missed it. I personally love that. Because now I just have a swing high to target. I don't necessarily like being in trades when it's making new high days, because then I'm riding the momentum and then I know eventually this thing has to pull back on a dip in order to continue higher. You don't know how big that dip's going to be on the pullback. So, right, even from here to top of the range, that's a $4 move. That's on Tesla. It's great. Like I said, SPY, Qs, like this is all noise. It's literally in between the previous day high low, and it's in a channel on the daily. So that's all noise to me. Nothing here on Netflix, right? That's expected. Crappy price action. It did have a very big day yesterday. So what does that typically follow up by? Consolidation. So not too surprised there. We did sweep the previous day high. Actually, did we during the pre-market? No, we didn't. No, we haven't swept the previous day high on IWM. Not the best price action as well on Qs. But remember, I'm trying to teach you. If the overall market seems like the price action hasn't been that good, I mean, yesterday was actually a really good day on SPY. It actually was a really good day. Um, our key levels being respected, but we're just in a channel. We're in a channel. Almost every day we open up in between the previous day high, previous day low, and we're stuck in a daily channel. So when it's bad price action, right? That's pretty much the reason why. I just like Tesla because I mean we can clearly see the divergence here. Buyers are in control, but it may be so strong we may not get a retest. Right? That's a possibility. This thing is still pushing. Tesla looks good though. It looks really good. So we'll be patient. Right? There's been plenty of times we waited over an hour for a pullback on the retest. And then you see, right? Less is more discipline. You see how I have my close watch here? Right? When there's nothing setting up, I'm not going through every ticker looking for a trade. Right? They're on my close watch list for a reason. And if it doesn't set up, I don't take a trade. It's really that simple. There's not a lot going on the tech names. Yeah, Tesla's strong, bro. Tesla's strong. I got an alert set on uh, NVIDIA on Apple. So if that alert goes off, then I know to look at it. But other than that, right, and then this is expected, statistically, when we sweep the previous day high and we close back under it, most times, buyers push it back down or sellers push it back down to the previous day low and then vice versa. So we'll see. I wouldn't rule this out. This SPY's been moving a good amount. Like I wouldn't even say this thing won't pull back to 679. I wouldn't be surprised. Right? Definitely look good during the pre-market. Definitely look good. I'm going to, okay. Just trying to look at the news right now on CNBC. Hmm. Yeah, Tesla's gone, bro. I'm looking at IWM on the 15-minute here. It's a very big bearish candle. So let's see. I have a nice retest on IWM. I just wasn't quick enough. That was textbook if you caught that. That was textbook. I just am not quick enough getting my comments. That was textbook, bro. Look at that. Next day expiration contracts already two strike prices in the money. Those climbed fast. Wow. I like the pre-market plan if you caught that. That was solid. That was beautiful. I'm still waiting for the Tesla retest too. Stay tuned. Of course, I prefer Tesla over IWM. Deeper the pullback here on Tesla, the better. I'm looking at Tesla right now, not IWM. I think that Tesla's going to pay me more. Just got to hold your water here. Solid. I mean, if you took this on a zero, you definitely got paid. It's 7:01, so market's been open literally 30 minutes on the dot. 31 minutes. Tesla's really the only one I like. The price action is just cleaner. I'd rather wait for a deeper pullback here on IWM. I'm picking between the two. Like I know Tesla's going to pay me more than IWM. Like look at the dollar, how it moves here: 249, 249.10, 249.20, 30, 40. Hmm. I didn't really get a deep enough pullback here on Tesla. Like I said, market's only been open for 30 minutes. Just gotta hold your water. Just gotta be patient. So look at the price action on IWM yesterday compared to today. So I used to trade IWM very heavy. Like the personality of this stock is very different. Like now, I would never really take a zero on an IWM. I'm more comfortable playing a zero on SPY and Qs than IWM. So Qs is trending lower on the intraday. Not the best price action, very slow actually. But that's, like I said, we're in a channel, not really surprised. I'm looking at both here, but like I said, I'd rather take Tesla than IWM for obvious reasons. SPY's just been straight downside. So I don't really regret, well, not regret, but I don't really feel like I missed this if we just went to the top and like instantly came right back down. So gonna be very patient here. All right, we had a shot here again, but for me personally, I'm taking Tesla over IWM because for my average position size, even if I bought at the money cons tomorrow for IWM, I have to buy over 100 contracts. Like that's, I just know Tesla's gonna pay me more. Like this thing moves by the cent, 10, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't really like that. For a zero, it's cool, I guess, but I'm good. Yeah. We got the break, right? I just still need the retest here. I still need the retest here on Tesla. I gotta let this candle close and then see what happens next candle. All right, I'm not so eager to pull the trigger because buyers, right? This is a retest. Buyers never really showed their hands here, right? Very different. Very, very different. I want to see how this candle closes. We did right through our level, so I don't like that. I didn't get one wick or anything. So if I can get like a candle close here with momentum, I can risk right under here. All right, you can kind of see a lower low forming here. So yeah, I just don't like the context. It's just a retest, but if I see strong buyers, I'll take my shot, but I gotta see strong buyers. Hughes is trying to curl from the low day. Patience, patience. IWM definitely gave another retest, but I'm looking at Qs. I mean, I'm sorry, Tesla. So if you took IWM, kudos to you. IWM is very small account friendly for sure. Thing is, like, I'm not really spotting divergence on Tesla anymore, obviously, right? I know I'm bullish bias, but I gotta wait for like a candle to close and then a strong momentum candle. I didn't even solid if you caught that. Gave you another setup on the pullback again. This I'm not too upset about. Give you another retest here, but I'm looking at Tesla. But I'm not gonna force Tesla. We're doing really good holding our water here. Really, really good holding our water. IWM right off the pre-market plan. Pull back long off our weekly level. Solid on IWM. Kudos if you caught that. I don't think I've traded this name once all year. They used to trade it very heavy though. That was beautiful. Like, bro, textbook. Textbook. It would have been hard if you took that on a zero, just with that instant pullback. That would have been very hard on a zero. Remember, right? The same way the premiums flip and they help you when it goes in your favor, literally they go hand in hand. It does the same thing when it pulls back against you. So, what is this? These are 2 minute candles. This would have been very hard if you took that on a zero DTE. That's why I recommend like just playing next day expiration. Just play next day expiration. So I ended up skipping this trade on the second go round because my attention was here on Tesla. Beautiful on IWM. You're sitting back at the high day now, right off the pre-market plan. Bro, what a beautiful level. Stuff like this excites me. Like we did our job on the dot. What a beautiful level on the dot. Right? Something I say though is like when you enter a trade, you never know what's gonna happen. So that's why I really wanted to emphasize like the one thing you should know is as soon as you enter a trade with a zero DTE, you are starting that trade at a disadvantage. You got to know that. As soon as you get in, you're already at a disadvantage. Why? Because you don't have time on your side now. I just broke down theta, right? So if these weekly contracts are getting more volatile, getting closer to expiration, what do you think a zero DTE is going to be like? You know what I mean? Beautiful. Already back to the high day. Solid. No regrets here, right? I'm taking Tesla over IWM any day. That's a no-brainer. IWM's very small account friendly. Like these contracts are only $1, even next day. Let me see. Look at that. Only $1 at the money. Open interest is good, about 2,000 volume. One strike price out. Yeah, solid. So very small account friendly on IWM. We did really good here holding our water, seeing the context with the overall market. I kind of see a bull flag setting up here. Like I said, I gotta wait for like a reclaim here. IWM played out nice. Really nothing on the tech side of things. Crappy price action here on SPY. Crappy. Looked really good though. Like during the pre-market, we broke out. Thought we were gonna hold. Never held. Really good here, not getting faked out on Tesla. Held our water. Did really good. See, some traders would see this strong bullish candle kick in and take that shot, but like this isn't really necessarily a part of my key level, right? This is structure. Like for my stop loss, I understand that, but I needed to see some wicks, come in here. You can see the wicks are being put into place, rejecting 450. But when we pulled back, I never saw buyers show their hands, so I'm not taking that. Beautiful here on IWM. That was like a 10 out of 10 analysis, right? I want to see the top of the channel turn into support. Um, Beautiful. At first, I thought this thing was going to rip, and it instantly pulled back, like instantly, within, well, yeah, 2 minutes, straight up, straight down. So you definitely got another entry down here on IWM, right? If you were playing next day expiration, those contracts wouldn't have been as volatile, right? On the pullback, if you got stopped out, kind of would have been a little hard to manage to trade on a zero. That's why I always tell you, like, I think you should honestly just, make that a habit. If you're trading the SPY and you're trading the Qs and you're trading IWM, like names like that where you can trade zero DTEs, to each their own, right? There's no right or wrong way to trade. But like if you, especially if you have a small account, like man, if that thing goes against you, like it goes against you quick. Like you're instantly down 12%, 10%. So I would just say make it a habit of just playing next day expiration. You're still being conservative by doing that. Hope that makes sense. Right? So this what we're seeing here on IWM is like no surprise, right? That's a weekly level. That's a weekly level. That's super solid. See, I'm watching Tesla and I'm watching Qs because Qs is trying to curl this low day balance. I'll show you. It's trying to curl. And then remember, right? Like I said, when I see stuff like this, I just see them as plays setting up. Now, what do I love about going into tomorrow on the SPY? If today we close under 685.25, what do I love about it? It's the previous day high now. right? So not only is it confluence, it's the top of the range, it's a key daily resistance level. I just showed you that on the daily time frame, and it's the previous day high. Like I said, we get over 685, there's nothing in its way to all-time highs. Man, look at IWM. That is beautiful, bro. Like, no FOMO for me. I don't feel like I missed out or anything. You can't have that as a trader. All these names you're looking at were on my close watch list. So if I skip this trade to focus on Tesla, right, I didn't miss out on this trade. I know I'm going to get paid more on a Tesla move than IWM, right? Like from the bottom of the range, 248.55, now it's at 250. So not even a full $4 move, right? Just a scalp on Tesla is a $4 move. Man, that is dope. I love to see that. You guys know me. I'm very passionate about this. I love to see that. Like just seeing, your analysis, play out, like it just boosts your confidence, right? I said this a very long time ago. There's no better feeling than building your own game plan and executing. See, I think a lot of people can build their own game plan, but when they're putting money on the line, it's like everything goes out the window and then you're just too attached. You're focused on, you want to win, right? Some traders can't even sit through this. They can't even sit through that, right? They're quick to cut their winners because they see the unrealized green. They're like, oh crap, let me lock this in before it goes red. And then you miss, the majority of the move. So, but there's no better feeling, right? As a trader where, you build your own game plan, own thesis, and it plays out. All right. So Tesla's a no-go. We did really good holding our water there because now I'm spotting divergence on Tesla. I'm actually spotting relative weakness compared to the Qs. And then we did good noticing this even when it was holding. Like I saw that we were making lower lows. I saw that, right? We weren't really holding structure. Then we came back here. We ended up ripping right under here. We never had any buyers show up, right? And then that's what you're seeing right now. So we did really good holding our water there. Super, super good. All right, you can't catch every trade. I made a business decision. I had two of these setting up at the same time. And I chose to go with Tesla over IWM, right? That's just part of the game. That's how it goes. I know I'm gonna get some emails about this. This makes me happy. I'm really hoping a handful of you guys caught this. Like that was beautiful. Even if you caught this like on this candle here, like it respected 248.55 on the dot. Trust your levels. I told you, right? The higher the time frame key level, the better, the stronger. I said yesterday, it's not every day, right? You get a break and retest off a weekly level. It's not every day. So that's why they're highly respected. I don't even really like to swing trade off of dailies, but off of weekly levels, I'm 9 times out of 10, like I only mainly like swing trade off of weekly levels. I'll make a video on that in the future. All right, solid day here. Really not much going on besides IWM. IWM set up 2 days in a row, actually. We got a break and retest over this yesterday, but like at 9 a.m. Good bull trap here on Tesla. We got the breakout. We never held. So we avoided a fake out here. This is why you wait for the retest. So this was just a good bull trap here on Tesla. I'll show you on the daily. Yeah, Tesla's already almost back towards the lower day. So we did really good holding on water. Look at that. So at one point, this candle was bullish and green. At one point. So solid bull trap. I learned many years ago, I can never be a breakout trader. I can never be a breakout trader, bro. Never. I tried it. I tried it. It was not for me. Right? You trade on the 1 minute. I learned a lot from it though. I learned a lot from like trying to, be a breakout trader. I learned a ton from it, to be honest. It actually helped me like understand contracts better. I learned how to read like level twos. Uh, to this day, right? Like a lot, you don't need a level two when you're trading the break and retest, but level twos are very strong because it's like real time data coming in. You're seeing the orders come in. So this may sound crazy to the average Joe, but if I had to choose, like if someone said, okay, we're going to take away your chart or your level two, but you still have to place trades, I can comfortably place trades only with a level two instead of looking at my chart. I hope that makes sense. So level twos are very strong, but breakout traders, they typically use them just because when you approach a key level and you have your level two, you can see the orders that are coming in, right? The bid in the ass, you want to see the bid push out the ass, stuff like that. So, but this is why, right? You kind of get faked out or you sell very early and then this thing continues to run. You guys know me. I really don't scout. I like to sit in my trades, manage them on the higher time frame, look for the bigger move. The entire point of the break and retest is continuation. So if you trade the break and retest correctly, you will always be profitable. Cut your losses quick, let your runners run. It's honestly that simple, right? Like it's hard for traders to sit in that just straight upside because they're looking at their P&L and they're worried about, oh man, I want to lock in my gains. I don't want this to go red on me. I don't want this to pull back on me. So when you do that, whether you know it or not, that's an emotional decision. You're making a decision based off fear, fear of losing the money that you haven't locked in yet. I hope that makes sense. Like yesterday, right? We got the, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago, we took our trade on NVIDIA. We sat in it, right? We let the momentum ride. We let it ride up into the high day. As soon as I got the move in my favor, I didn't freak out. Go back and watch that. I said, all right, we already sat through the storm. We sat through the hard part. Now let's just let it play out. Let's see. So it's about an hour now. This market's been open. I'm sure after this session, I'm gonna have some emails regarding this trade. That is beautiful. That is textbook. Even better when we see it play out in real time. We'll see what happens on Tesla. If Tesla reclaims 450, I'm not playing a reclaim. I'm playing the break and retest. I don't have time to, like, you can see, I mean, look at this. This is a 15-minute. Buyers just stepped up aggressively, very aggressive. So, but right now, like I said, we're kind of seeing this curl here on on Qs. Seeing this curl here on Qs. How do you know when a name is starting to trend? When the dip gets bought up aggressively. You just got to break and retest over the previous day high. Buyer stepped up, pushing higher on IWM. Let's see. What did NVIDIA do? Nothing. Just dead smack middle of the range, in between the previous day high, previous day low. And then, we can't forget, right? Like, one, if the overall market is in a channel and sitting sideways, what do you expect these tech names to do? And then, two, right? The market comes in season. So we can't remember. I mean, I'm sorry, we can't forget. All in November, we were hot. We were just longing everything. Just calls, everything, right? Everything was making all-time highs, AMD, like all these names were trending. So, right, we just remember, right? It's not every day. The market's in seasons. We just had a crazy rally for like the last 2 months. And then the market's consolidating right now before it makes its next leg higher into the all-time highs. So when you see these things, it's very normal. Very, very normal. So it's like when I see traders who can come in, kind of just be patient, sit on their hands, right? Like I promise you, that's gonna help you in the long run. That's how you become profitable. Like there's nothing on SPY, there's nothing on Qs, there's nothing on Nvidia, there's nothing on AMD, nothing on Netflix, nothing on Apple, right? That's the only reason why I'm looking at IWM in the rotation, right? Because a lot of our tech names, there's nothing going on. Can't forget that. Like Apple was giving us a setup every single day, every single day. And then when you look at SPY, right? Let's look at SPY on the 15-minute. This thing's been trending like crazy. Let me go to the 30. Right? Look at SPY. This is normal, bro. Like we've been trending, now we're consolidating. And that's normal market structure. What I've been teaching you, right? The cool thing about SPY consolidating is it's definitely respecting its key levels. But right, we were doing this every single day. That's crazy. And then now, we're respecting the key levels, but consolidation, stay it with me, next leg higher. So this is just normal market structure. It's normal market structure. The month just started, but I love this on the SPY. I love the confluence here. That is beautiful to me. So for the sake of a setup, I actually hope the daily candle closes under 685, to be honest. I hope it does. Because then tomorrow, right, this thing is just screaming, right? Daily double top, previous day high, daily resistance, big RR trade, nothing in its way to all-time highs. I'll definitely be looking for Monday contracts. And if we can just stay over 685.25, I'm holding that. That looks really good. Like these are things I look at, I'm like, all right, this is setting up. We want to see this channel turn into support. Right? So fairly a slow week for me. I think I've only taken 2 trades this week. Less is more. And when my sets up come and I know I take my high probability shot, the market pays me for it. It's that simple. Like not every day you need to take a trade. I'm really trying to like teach that and instill that. So, right, like there's not a lot going on. At least for me, how I trade. To each their own. Right? Like we knew we were bearish bias on Netflix under 103. Right? Just never got the pullback. As you know, I don't trade well, that doesn't even matter because it's far away. But right, never got the pullback. And then look at the tight range we're in. Trying to teach you these things, right? We just had a nice trendy day yesterday. Look at what we did yesterday. Here to here, inside bar day, dead smack in the middle of the range. Right, these are 15-minute candles, so Netflix isn't doing anything. But we're looking for the pop and fade off of 103. So what are we looking for tomorrow? A pop and fade off of 103. Very simple. Things are just setting up. Let me go to main watch here. This is trying it. Like I said, I need a break and retest over this though. I'm not playing a reclaim here because we never held. Never held. NVIDIA, right, nothing there. Apple. This is good. This is good. I just showed you yesterday, or was it what, 2 days ago? Like these are things I'm like, all right, it's setting up. We just got to be patient and wait. This is what I mean when I say I let our trades come to us. One, like look at all these over a week, over a trading week. Apple's just been green straight to the upside. I want to be in a trade down here before we get back up here. We broke our key level here and we never retested this. So finally, we're starting to get some pullbacks here on Apple. So what we're gonna do? We're just gonna be patient. That's all we're gonna do. So this is really good. This is really good. If you understand what I'm teaching you at market structure, it makes sense. AMD, right? This thing has definitely been holding our 214.85. I mean, on the dot. Like I said, that's now starting to be a channel, so I'm hands off in there. I'll be patient. I'd rather just wait for the break and retest over 225, which is also another dip buy opportunity. So I said that coming to today. So if you took a long off that, like I'm giving you the key levels. You just got to read it. But I don't trade channels, right? Not enough displacement here. Beautiful here on IWM. This thing may hit all-time highs today. It may. We'll see. So nice, I wouldn't say V-shaped recovery, but the market is fairly recovering. We did break structure here on Qs. We did break structure. You can see SPY starting to curl a little bit here. Yeah, that was solid. If you played this pullback long off of AMD, right? On the dot. On the dot. That's just beautiful. Just gotta trust your levels, but like that's not an A plus setup for me. You gotta know. I said this a while ago. Whatever system you trade, and I'm being serious when I say this, so listen. Whatever system you trade, it doesn't matter if you're a breakout trader, a swing trader, um, break and retest, doesn't matter. Get out a piece of paper and you need to write down the definition of an A plus setup in that system. And then go through every single trade that you've taken and see if that definition correlates with the trade that you've taken, whether it's a winning trade or losing trade. And if it's not, why did you take that trade? And then you start to realize that if you only take trades on A plus setups, you start trading a less more. I'm sorry, less more. But your win percentage goes up. Your P&L goes up. Why? Because you're taking the highest probability setups. So you can see we're just pretty much stuck in a channel here between 225 and 214.85, and we're neutral. So I'm not long biased on AMD. So I don't really care to play a pullback long off the bottom of the range, right? If we were trending to the upside and we have a bias, different. So to me, this is not an A plus setup. This isn't an A plus, environment. Hope that makes sense there. All right. So now I'm just waiting for the retest here on Tesla. Look at SPY, right? Nice V-shaped recovery here on SPY. A lot's happened, but market hasn't even been open 2 hours. So it's a Thursday. I'm being a little bit more conservative. So the deeper the pullback, the better, right? On a Monday, I can take my shot if I don't get a deep enough pullback, right? Because those contracts aren't going to be as volatile. So that's what I mean when I say I'm holding my water here. I like the overall market with this V-shaped recovery. It does look good. I'm up on my contracts, but I don't trade my P&L. So whatever happens, gonna happen. I just like the V-shaped recovery from the market here. Of course, I played in the money cons. All right, I don't control the outcome of a trade. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. It's all probabilities. Just gotta let the probabilities play out. I understand that momentum isn't too strong right now, um, but the contracts are holding up fairly well. Q's is still pushing recovery on this V-shaped recovery, so we'll see. I'm out. Those contracts out there value very well. Yeah, markets is pulling back very heavy. Those contracts out there value very well, actually. Gotta take that shot. I was up 6% here, but I don't care for that. I'm always thinking about the RR on a trade. So solid shot there. Let's see. You guys know me. I'm big on one and done. Right? I plan my trade, traded my plan. I waited for the break again. I waited for the retest, hammer stick candle. That's exactly what you want to see. Over our market, look at SPY, bounce at the lower day. That's beautiful. Everything checks off for me. Right? I don't control the outcome of a trade. My job is to take my shot every time it sets up. So that was a solid trade. That was a good loss, in my opinion. I want to be able to look at every trade, my losers, and say I would 100% take that trade again. So that was solid. You can see we're bullish bias on this name. We have the lower day bounce here, right? Got the break again, break a structure here, reclaim, beautiful. But what you see right now is give me one sec. Let me go to Qs. Yeah, this is what you see on the Qs right now. Just that pullback that you see on Qs. That's what we got here on Tesla. Let's see. Solid. Give me one sec. Nice. Let's see, I think that'd do it for me. If you got IWM, solid, right? If you caught that, I'm always going to go with Tesla over IWM. And then what else? So you got to be able to be a great loser and understand what you're looking at. You can't revenge trade and take this personal and think like uh like you should have won that trade. No, no, no. That was a small loss for me, right? So then going into right tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, it's like you want your win to outdo that. Because then, right, you take another trade and then you lose again. Now you're in a hole. And you take three trades and then you go 0 for 3. Now you're in drawdown. So the next couple of trades you take, now you're trying to fight to get out of drawdown. I hope that makes sense. Right? We took a high probability shot. This was a good risk to reward trade. Targeting the high day, right? So I was trying, explain things in R multiple. I'm risking that much to make this much. Risk to reward. You can't trade to for wins or losses. I really hope that makes sense. I would 100% take this trade again. 100%. Let's see. I think that's gonna be it for me. That is gonna be it for me. Let's see. Yeah, look at the 15-minute here. I like that. This was a really good setup. Right, ended up getting a break. Right, candle closure, retest, hammer stick candle. We ended up pushing back up, but then seller step back in. So that's good. And then, right, when you look at it from this perspective, kind of just sitting a little bit. We know that. Duplicate. Right. So I like this. This looked good because I'm like, oh, we just kind of broke structure here. Or we did, right? With a reclaim. We didn't play the reclaim, we played the break and retest. That's a solid shot. I would 100% take that trade again. That looked really, really good. Especially with the overall market doing a V-shaped recovery. That looked really good. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it here. I will see you folks tomorrow.